Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Kim here, and today is a Destash video. Now it is firstly for my thrifties, and if you're not familiar with what a thrifty is, I charge a certain amount for a box, and the thrifties go along and pick things out as they like them, and they can add them to their box. When their box is full, I ship it to them. If you want more information, the link to how to become a thrifty and what a thrifty is and all that information is in the description box below. And you sign up on that video if you are from Canada. Anybody else would be on a waiting list, so please let me know if you're on a waiting list for US or for other countries. But for Canada, again, let me know you're from Canada and that you want to be on the list. There are a couple people that are going to be ending their thrift box soon because they're, well, and your box is full. I cannot fit a toothpick in there. So I'm going to be doing an unboxing pre-shipping of Anne's box. So you get to see what she chose for the money she spent. And there will be another one coming up shortly after that. Tracy, I think your box is getting a little full, but we'll see. I think you still have room to figure a few things out yet. But yeah, so you can get more information on the thrifties in the links below. So I have a pile of books here, and now normally with thrifties, I try to make it all the same so there, nobody gets one thing and not the other, but this was such a good deal, and I really wanted to share this with my thrifties. So the only way I can do it is first come, first serve in the comments below. So thrifties, I'm going to suggest, these are all vintage books. I will go through each one individually. I just thought I'd show you this great big pile of them first. But I will go through each book individually, and how we'll do it is by the title of the book. That's how you can pick which book you want, if you want a book. There's enough here, you could have 2 books if you want. So it's by the title and first come, first serve. So when you go to leave a comment, you probably should look at the other comments to see if one thrifty got there before you did, in case you want the same books. So that's the only way I can do it. So maybe as the video is going, you would write down a few of the books that you like, and then see with what's left over by the time you're ready to leave your comments. Excuse me. That's the only way I can do it. I'm sorry if you don't get the book that you want, but that's how it is, and that's the only way I could offer these to you. But, I'm sure there's something here for everybody. I'm also going to show you a couple of other Destash kits that I've put together. They are for my thrifties first, and then there will be an opportunity to purchase these kits later on in the week. I'm holding off on actually posting everything because I want to hit you with a big whammy of deals. So nothing is getting posted till the last second. And I will hit you with that offer so that you can take advantage of it all at once. But yes, if you do want to become a thrifty, this is the last time before the end of the year that I will be able to do this. And if you are serious about the second box, because Anne's already been talking about a second box, so like we were talking the other day, and so if you are interested in these items, you can add them. Just say add them to my box, and I will start a new box with you and work that all out with you later on. But Anne's box is full, so she's either starting a second box or passing by this time. But yeah, lots of fun, and I look forward to doing it again this year. But then I'm going to have to stop because too many other things will take over. So let's get started. So this first book is John Halifax Gentleman. It is about 6 inches by about 4.5. Don't have a ruler handy. Oh, I do have my, yeah, 4.5. Boy, I'm good. So then when you open it up, there's some personal 1907. There are some lovely images in here, or at least one, I see. And no copyright information that I can see here so far. But, the date being 1907 in this part tells you it's got to be at least that old, this personal inscription. And nice brown pages. Let's see if there are any more images. I don't think so. Very nice thin pages. It's a nice size book. I mean, there's a little bit of cleanup work to do, but I think most of this will come off. But it's a nice size book for remaking as a journal, and using the book pages as, you know, ephemera papers. Okay, so the book is called John Halifax Gentleman. Put that back in the bag here. This next one, Red Book, Westward Ho, Charles Kingsley. Nice, good hard cover. No inscription in here. Oh, look at a colored image. That's even nicer. And this is no copyright Great Britain, but I see this dedication here, February 1855. Wow. I'm surprised, but cool. So it's got a colored image here. Oh, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Let's see if I can find any more. Usually they have a list of the colored plates, or of the plates. Fighting began more fiercely. So if it's 1855, that's a pretty old book, wouldn't you say? 1955, almost 200 years old. Well, not quite. Shy 170 years old. There's another one, and there's one more here. Lovely images, but again, I'm looking at it as a nice quality hardcover. I don't think it's probably a reproduction. I don't think it's 1855 really. I'm sure this is just another edition, but it's still a lovely book. So Westward Ho, Charles Kingsley. This one, a lovely green color, pretty good shape. The Critter and Other Dogs by Albert Payson Terhune. Great if you want to do a dog journal. And it is, there's one picture here. The Critter and Other Dogs. Copyright 1936. Lovely, heavier pages. These probably don't fold well. I mean, you have to be very gentle with them when you fold, but great for doing master boards. Also great for die cutting. I like this kind of paper. It sews very nicely. Good quality. Nice clean images. And then the end page on both sides is very pretty too. So if you want to do a dog journal or a pet journal, this might be a great book, but I just love it for the green cover, and needs a bit of a washing. There's some pencil marks on here and stuff, but nothing too major. So The Critter and Other Dogs. Here's a nice teal blue one. Love this one. The Law of the 45s. The Law of the 45s. Sounds like a record. Okay. Copyright 1933. So we're getting some really old books here. Nice large font. Heavy pages again. Nice thick pages. They don't fold well, but they do die cut really well. And I mean, you can fold them. It's just that, you know, you do risk the cracking in these books, but you know, if you're careful, you can fold them. But they're nice to sew on, and they're nice to make as a tag base or a masterboard base. So no pictures in this one. Nice cover. A little bit of wear there, but that could easily be fixed. And a lot of times I cover the spine unless it's a really interesting topic, like a title. But usually I cover the spine anyway, so I do some general repair. And then, you know, if you're making it as a hardcover journal, you're going to have some repairs to do anyway when you take out the guts of the book. So that one was The Law of the 45s, teal blue. This one is Green Timber, Harold Titus. Really nice color. This just says kind of a woodsy forest type journal to me. Humiliating facts. Oh, this is interesting. 150 million cords of wood or 50-year supply were destroyed by insects in the last 10 years in the province of Quebec alone. 1921 this is written now, so it's a book about timber. Did the title give it away? Copyright 1922. I don't know that I'd run to read this one, but you know, I love the cover. And then, like I said, lots of ephemera waiting to be made with the book pages. Lovely coloring to them for aging. No page end papers that are nice. Okay, we're getting into some blue books. Boy Scouts in an Airship. Love this logo right here. Boy Scouts in an Airship. Now that's interesting. So we know it's not that old. Okay, somebody personalized it in Christmas of 1928 to Raymond and Fred from Aunt Alice? Maybe Alice. Aunt Alice. Okay, got something scratchy here bothering me. Let's see. Copyright 1915. Okay, any pictures? I don't know if there's pictures, but there's some really nice decorative elements on the chapter. Nice large font. And all these old books, you know that they're safe to use for your art, that you don't have to read every page. Arrested for smuggling. Ooh. A bribe of $500,000. How would they even talk in $500,000 in those days? $500,000 what? Pennies? Okay. Oh, Vixen takes a tumble. The Black Bear in trouble. Ned is guilty of larceny. Oh, maybe you do have to watch this book. I don't know. Black Bear's on the Amazon. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so that one is 1915. Boy Scouts in an Airship. Don't know how the title is related to all of this, but still a nice, good hardcover book. Needs a little bit of cleanup, but again, you know, either washing it down or covering it with a doily or a piece of lace will do the trick. This one here, Racing Around the World. Now that sounds fun. Destash L. Adams. Inscription of August 24th, 1930. I love these papers. I cut these out or tear them out and use them just like that in journals because I just find them so fun. You could fold this into sort of a tri-fold and have this on the outside. Look at how beautiful this handwriting is. Somewhere in New Brunswick. Jeffrey, New Brunswick, I guess. Ralph B. Hawks. Looks like. Okay, there is an image here. Wow, that's cool. The apex refueled while in the air. Copyright 1928. And a very large font. Different chapters, no elements on the pages. But you get one picture in this book. McAllister, Robertson, Allison, St. John, New Brunswick. Must have been a bookstore at the time. Needs a bit of a cleanup, but nice title cover. I like that. You could do kind of a travel journal. If you've gone to a lot of places over the years, you can call it Racing Around the World and do a chronological travel journal of your world travels. That would be kind of fun. Let's do a green one. The Eyes of the World. Now this has a little bit of stress here. I would do, you know, some basic repairs to it, but I would certainly keep the cover of this. It's almost like it could be a book of what's going on in the world today, right? How we see things. Just unusual title. But yeah, lovely, lovely book cover. Love the title. I would play on the title, definitely. I don't know what I would do at this point. Right away it comes to mind of how the world is today, but I don't know what I would do with this. I'd have to think about it some. Ooh, beautiful image right here. Look at that. That is gorgeous. Ooh, like that. Copyright 1914. Now let's see if we get any more. Looks like there are a couple of book plates here, maybe. No? Oh, what's this one? Yeah, there's one. It's got a little bit of a crack in it, but that could be painted over a little bit, like inked over. Any more? Usually it tells us. Contents, illustrations. So there's 3 of them. So there should be 2 more here. 152 and 419. 152. There we go. There's that one. Very much, what's her name? Jane Austen style. No, I never read anything of Jane Austen. And the other one was... Sorry, don't need to take this long to... Still She Did Not Speak, 419. There we go. Still She Did Not Speak. I like that picture. Anyway, so that's got pictures in it. A little bit of wear here. What would be fun, honestly, I would rip this cover piece right off completely. There's nothing holding it together. So that means you're going to have a front and back cover. You'd have to rebuild the whole cover. If nobody takes this one, I'm certainly going to do it online. But I would take this off very carefully, and I would adhere it to some kind of heavier stock and make it into a bookmark. And do some, you know, whether you finish the edges or leave them rough like that on the bookmark, you know, sort of mat it with a larger piece so that you can see the edge of the larger piece, maybe in a kind of this goldy color would be nice. So that you can save the bookmark and have the title, the original title of the book, which is fun, and fix the book up itself. So that's what I would do. Also, whenever you are taking apart old books, always be sure to look inside of the spine. When you buy old books and when you're looking for, or when you get an old book and you're going to take it apart, many, many times I have found like little notes and little lists and notations, you know, of silly things. I found a wedding announcement, like a newspaper clipping of a wedding announcement. I have it somewhere. I don't know where I put it right now, but I do have it. And I met an old fellow once in a thrift shop, and he told me, especially with the German books, and it was because of him that I really started paying attention. I haven't found anything in German, in a German book, although I do buy a lot of German books. But he said they used to send messages by putting things inside the spine of the, you know, of a Bible or, you know, kind of that kind of book where people wouldn't notice it so much. And so always keep an eye out. You never know, right? You never know if somebody has some deep, dark secrets. Since we're on that subject, also keep an eye out when you buy jewelry boxes, old jewelry boxes, and old sewing boxes. And I have found so many things, from $2 bills, little notes, love letters. You know, jewelry boxes was a great place to hide something behind the mirror. You know, the lining comes off, and if you just pull it gently, because a lot of times the glue is wearing off already, but they've already pulled it off. So if you just pull it gently, you know, sometimes you can find beautiful things behind there and deep, dark secrets. So keep an eye out. Anyway, that book is The Eyes of the World. Just if you're interested in that book. This next one, The Blanket of the Dark. Ooh, again, it makes you want to play on the words, right? Ooh, what could you do? The Blanket of the Dark. I don't know. It seems like it could be a gothic style of book to me. I'm into gothic right now. John Buchan. Spine is discolored, but still in pretty good shape. You know, I haven't looked in the spines, but I'm not going to. A personal inscription, 1934. Nice end papers here. The Blanket of the Dark. I don't know what it's about, and I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, first print was 1931, and this is copyright 1933, so it's already 100 years old. Again, heavier paper and nice yellowy color. I don't think there's anything in here that we really have to worry about as far as content, and just simple. Swan of Bohun goes down. The blanket of the dark. So yeah, there's that one. And yeah, we're into a lot of green books now. Okay, this one is called Karnak by Gilbert Parker. Very worn, but it lends to, you know, the mystery of the journal to me. I just love an old book like this, and you don't know what to expect when you open it up and it's a journal inside. That to me is so fun. Very small signature here, Hazel, looks like Hazel Hughes. Lots of specks on the pages. None of the books smell. I mean, there's you know, that vintage smell comes with everything, but nothing bad as such. I have a really serious good nose for this kind of stuff, and I would never buy these books if they smelt really musty. But they, you know, they all come with an old smell. Okay, copyright 1922. Nothing fancy here, but these would be fun pages to work with as far as the title. Sometimes I try to leave the title and the date if it's in good enough shape that I can either reattach it or, you know, glue it to a signature page. I do like to keep them so that people know what the original book was, like the date and information. Nothing in here that is decorative except, now what did I just flipped it. Now I won't be able to flip it again, I suppose. It looks like there's a few pages that are blank inside here, which can be fun. Very thick pages. Yeah, this is a fun page. This page, if you have a printer that does photocopying or scanning, a page like this that is so stained is fun to just photocopy it. Photocopy it 20 times onto some heavier paper or even some construction paper in a light color, and let you know, print in color, of course, and let these stains come through, and you have yourself some printable distressed paper just like that. Many times I've done that, where I have a couple of really nice coffee stained papers that I really love how the coffee, you know, was dark in spots and light in spots. And so it's actually always on top of the printer, because whenever I need a quick coffee stain type page, or if I want to print on the back of another paper like a scrapbook paper, or if I want to print on top of the scrapbook paper because I don't like the scrapbook paper, I just throw that in the printer, and then I put the scrapbook paper through, and it prints over top of it the brownness of the print, and gives me this grungy looking scrapbook paper. So keep that in mind. If ever you have some of these that are really stained, or sometimes even the ones that have serious bad damage, water damage, they look really nice when they're printed on nice paper. Just saying. Okay, so that was Karnak, Gilbert Parker, if you're interested in that one. Another green book. This one is called The Understanding Heart. Oh, doesn't that sound romantic? Oh, she just understood him. Even though, you know, he meant well, she still understood him. She loved him. A faded cover. Peter Kine. I can't read it from here, but looks like it's taken some stress here. You can see I love this stuff too. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that or not. I'd love to have a whole box of this stuff in bigger pieces. You can usually rip this off the back of the book when you take the book out. So it looks like there's an image here. Yes, black and white. I'm sure the men swear by you, Monica. Okay, so it's Peter Kine. Okay, this says Roman numerals 1926. Copyright 1926. Okay. I don't know that there's any more pictures in here. Oh, there's a few. Okay, so let's just have a look. That's pretty. Let's see how many. Sometimes they tell us the illustrations, sometimes they don't. Oh, here, you've got 3 of them inside the book, plus the cover. So 132 is where I'm at here. 292. I mean, these are fun images to put in your journal as well. 293, 292. Missing from the book. Maybe it's tucked in somewhere else, but it is missing on the actual page. This is American Libraries. Sometimes people write on them and then they get destroyed. 366 is the last one. Okay. Very dark looking. Mason gathered up his rayada, coiling it as he went. If I'm saying that wrong, sorry. I don't know the word. But there's somebody that looks like they've been killed here. So yeah. Not my most favorite picture. And I don't know if the other one is just missing or, you know, somebody's ripped it out altogether, or if it's tucked in another spot in the book. But, you know, it's hit and miss. But the title, The Understanding Heart, is lovely. Here comes another blue one. Love this. It says Teddy's Button. Now, this is by Amy Lefevre. I don't know how you would even begin to say that. French name, I'm guessing. Teddy's Button. Well, that would be fun. I don't know how you would play on that, but it would be fun. It's also owned by the same Ralph B. Hawks from Jeffrey, New Brunswick. Sussex Corner. Well, it's fitting because that's very close to me. Okay, so there's an end page here. Oh, that's pretty. You're to let me come over first, she asserted. Teddy's Button, I don't know. Printed in Great Britain, doesn't have a date, but, you know, I'm guessing by the time period of all of these that are around, it's probably around 1930, 1920. I don't know if there's other illustrations in here. Doesn't look like it. Very thick pages again. Great for... Sometimes all you need is this and something blank on the back to make a back of a journal card, and then you just collage. Bird, butterfly, flower, label, done. Oh, here's another inscription here. Okay, 1928. So they just did it upside down in the book. Yeah, there's nothing back here. Okay, so 1928, so you know it's approximately that time. Teddy's Button. Green. Okay, this one is Canadian Civics. Pretty faded and worn, but I would just play on the color. That's where I would go with this. It would be just that. There's nothing fancy about the book. It is thinner, so one signature maybe, but still a lovely book color. Canadian Civics, written all over the place here. 1918, copyright in Canada. And let's see, contents, no illustrations, I don't think, unless they're just little black and white illustrations. No, nothing in here. Oh, but written all over the back here. Sometimes that's fun in itself to, looks like it's missing the end page, but sometimes that's fun in itself to scan and, again, use for ephemera of sorts. So, Canadian Civics. And then this one, Lady Baltimore. Well, doesn't that sound exciting? Very heavy. It's extremely heavy. Lady Baltimore. Okay, little personalization there. Oh, could that be Lady Baltimore herself? Ooh, look at her. The young girl realized his intention and straightened stiffly. I don't know what that's about, but onion skin type paper on the page. 1906, Lady Baltimore. Yes, original copyright 1905 and then republished in 1906. So this is the 1906 version. I don't know if there's more book plates. Oh, it looks like there's lots in here. Too sick to resist them. There's some illustrations here. So this one would be fun to harvest a few of the images. No companion save the big curly white dog. More illustrations. Midsummer Night's Dream. So there are some beautiful sketches in here. Of course, just because where'd it go? How can I lose it? There's like 8 pages here. How can I lose it? 107, 109, 111, 113. There it is. Okay, nice. In Worship Street. So yeah, there are a few, and there's a few illustrations that are on gloss paper. Be honest and say that you think so too. Again, what I like about these, the picture is not always the greatest, but it's got a nice blank back that you can easily tuck this into a journal, whether you fold it inward or outward and then use it as it is. So those are always fun. So there's a few in here. It was almost a collision. I guess you can't. Okay, there are some here that a list of the full page illustrations. Lady Baltimore. Lovely cover in pretty good shape. Again, I would play on the title. Create my own Lady Baltimore, and my own Owen Wister is the author. But very, very nice color green. A little bit of staining here, but it is what it is, right? And the last, but certainly not the least, The Winds of Chance, Rex Beach. Nice dark green cover. Of the spine is faded quite a bit. You could possibly, there is some embossing in the title, so you could possibly do a rub on here that, rub on, rub off, of paint in gold that maybe you could pick up that title a little bit. But if you're playing on this part of it, it's really in good shape here. I hope you can see that. I recently saw a video, but you know what? I did not subscribe to the channel. I just saw it and thought it was interesting. A girl was doing some painting and different embossing on book covers. So maybe have a look and see if you can find it. I don't know. I don't know the name of the person. Yeah, there's nothing inside here, but you can see the when you're taking them apart, you always look inside. Anyway, The Winds of Chance. Now, what was I saying? Yeah, if you look online, I'm sure you can find something that would give you some ideas for decorating and painting them. Inside, it's inscribed Christmas 1919, so that's a good indication as to when it was. Dad's Best Wishes, The Winds of Chance, Rex Beach, books by Rex Beach. Whoa, that's quite the picture. It almost looks like Dwayne Johnson a little bit to me. What's his name? Yeah, he always does shows. I can't think. Anyway, reminds me of him. The Winds of Chance. Okay, illustrated. Okay, that's fun. Copyright 1918, so we weren't off there. 1919 was the inscription. Illustrations. There's 3. One on page 76, 276, and 496. So I see this must be 76. There's the illustration. He lunged forward to stamp him beneath his heels, but stout arms seized him. Ooh. You know it's old, right? Okay, 276. Okay, here we go. I like when they give you the title, or the page number. Side by side, the old men sat. Dorrit stood over them, motionless, and intense. And then the last one, so we're not winning awards with these ones. 496. Let's see, 496. Pierce and Josephine turn away, hand in hand, their heads close together. Yeah, we're not winning awards with these ones, but again, you can slip them into a book. The Winds of Chance. I'm playing on the title. I don't know what it would be, but you know, I have been talking about that Games People Play book. The Winds of Chance might be part of it, but it would be a shame because that would be a more modern style of book, and this to me says a more vintage. I like the romance of this, or the romantic possibilities, whether it be a boho style or, you know, more, you know, the early 1900s Victorian, that type of thing, or 1800s, I mean. So that's how I would look at a title like this, not necessarily something more modern, but everybody has a different idea of how they put these together. So that's the books. If you found anything thrifties that you want, maximum 2, leave your comments below, and first come, first serve. That's the only way I can do it. So please don't be upset with me if somebody got your book before you. That's how it is, right? It's risky. So the next things that are for sure. Oh, look at those books. Or dusty. They made me a big mess on my tablecloth. I'm just going to turn it over so it's dusty on this side. The only reason I have this out is so that there's no glare and so that you can see what I'm doing. So I have 2 kits, and they are ribbons and trims, and they are done in color themes here. So it is just ribbons and trims and that type of stuff. They are made up of approximately 25 yards of lace and trims, and another 25 yards of fibers. 50 yards. So each kit will be similar. You know, if I ran out of one kind of lace, I put the next kind of lace that was similar to it, you know, whether it be half an inch bigger or smaller. That's the best I could do. But yeah, so when I was doing the kits, it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, and I just kept going. And then when I ran out of lace, I started the next one and kept going. And I kind of stayed in the same stuff. Most of them have most of the items, like the exact same, but there are a few laces or trims that if I didn't have enough, then something else was replaced in it. But you get the idea. So there's this lace here. This is the black lace or black trims kit. And something I want to talk about right at the beginning, because you'll see this on other laces. This is what they use to, this is an industrial lace, and this is what they use for sewing them on, and then this gets removed. And it's also used to build the lace when the lace is built, because this is done by machine. So this technically comes off. And the reason I'm telling you this is some people use it. Some people cut it straight and use it as a separate trim because it's fun. It's distressed looking, but it can also ruffle really nicely. It can be an added trim. But sometimes, I don't know if the machine goes wonky, but there are holes in it. So and if I find a piece that has a hole in it, I'll show you. But just so you know that if you get the lace and there's holes in this part, that is not the lace. That is the extra part that they use for sewing it on, you know, inside of a garment where you wouldn't see this. And it's also a method of how the lace is started when they're making it. I hope that makes sense. But if it has holes in it, just cut it off. And sometimes it's cut off on part of it, but it's the rest of it still has it there, and you'll see that as well too. So that's one. Here's another lace here. So this one has the same thing. It's the edge that goes inside the stitching. So when they're stitched on garments. So they are all a yard for the most part. I have some silver cord here. This is kind of a silvery gray color. I'm just pulling them out as I can. Picot edge ribbon. This is some silk cord, and I gave you a little bit extra, I think more than a yard in here. Because if I shorted you on one thing, you got a little bit more on the other. So one way or another, you got 50 plus yards. Some black fused pearls, great for slow stitching and great to use for making tassels. So you have a yard of that. A flat black lace or a ribbon. Again, good for ruffles, all kinds of trims. Some more lace. This is a finer piece. You'll have to zoom in to see some of these. And same thing, this has got a light ruffle to it, and if you got a ruffled one, you may not have got the same one. So I'm just going to move those over a little bit. This is called gimp trim. This is really nice because if you've got the holes in it, you can add dangles onto here or charms as you put it down. You've seen me do that a few times, I think. So you have a yard of that. And then there's this trim here. So here is another example. This, like I said, this is industrial. Here's an example where it's come away from the items. So just so you know, that's how it is. And so if ever you've got lace, don't think that it was torn. It's just not supposed to be part of the trim. And a lot of times when you buy lace, you get it without this on there. Like if you buy it in the craft stores, they've already taken this off. But when you're buying from like industrial bolts, like big large bolts, they leave that on to sew into a garment. This is very pretty. Isn't that gorgeous? This is why I wanted the white cloth, so you could see all the patterns in here. Love it. Another wide one, and here again, this is where you'll see that there are little holes in there. Hopefully you can see it's just how it's. I'm not going to undo the whole thing, but there's a yard there. And then there's a yard of this one. Very pretty patterns. This is a kind of a cottony type. Some pom-poms in black. These are fun. I love having these sticking out of a page. They got lots of fluff on them, so you'll have to unfluff them a little bit because, you know, when you get this stuff, it comes on these big bolts. It's right off the factory floor kind of thing, because that's how I used to buy lace all the time. Another gathered lace. Another pom-pom, and this is a smaller pom-pom, but again, it's nice to glue this down and then have the pom-poms on the outside. Hopefully you can see that. I had a little bit of this grosgrain ribbon. Beautiful, making flowers out of this. Another lovely trim here. All of these are 1 yard. This is kind of, it's like a seam binding, but it's a seam binding lace. Very pretty. One of my more favorite trims. And another fine trim again. And in this case, like the edging is nice, but if you were sewing it onto a garment, I keep thinking these little black things are like some kind of little bug or something. And it's just part of those pom-poms. So it's a very fine lace. So even if you stitch it down here, you've got the full lace that you can see. Or you can trim that off or use it as part of your design because it's in good shape. Another wider one here. Well, not wider, but good size width. Now this, because you know it's the long lengthwise, you could actually trim it into 2 lace patterns. That's probably what it was done like this for. But done like this for? Done like this for. That's why it was done like this for. Yeah. First day with my new words. Done like this for. Sorry. Some very fine rickrack. I love this. It's so delicate. This again would be nice in tassels. and some netting. It's got a bit of a sheen to it in this silvery gray. So I would use that with the black. And then this toile ribbon in this white, well, it's kind of an ivory color with the black stenciling. Toile. That is, you know, when you look at that word, it doesn't look like toile, does it? It looks like toil with an E. But it's toile is how you say it. So that's the 25 yards of trims. And I'm just going to put that to the side here. And I have 25 yards of fibers. So each one comes 5 yards. This one is probably one of my most favorites of this batch. It's got a bit of a sparkle to it. It's got these little balls in between the, you know, the fuzzies, balls and fuzzies. Again, my choice of words today are just ridiculous. Sorry, but yeah, 5 yards of this, and great for tassels, great for slow stitching because of the texture and, you know, the interest that way. This is a beautiful one, and this is very woolly, like very soft. Again, great for tassels, slow stitching, all kinds of things. Another 5 yards. I'm not going to undo them. Too hard to undo them all. This is a eyelash trim. Yes, eyelash. And it is in the black, gray, silvery, white colors. So very complimentary. I tried to stay in the black and silver in this case. And then this one is, this is very, very fine. So I gave you extra on this, more than 5 yards. It's so soft. I would love to have a bed made out of this. It is so, so soft. And it's it's called a velvet ribbon or velvet fiber. And just very fine, but very, very pretty. So this would be so nice to use in tassels or, you know, as all kinds of trim. This would crochet really nicely to make a nice trim border for your journals. And then the last one is another boa trim, or no, eyelash trim, and this is in the solid black. So that's the black kit. I hope you can see it in full view here with the toile ribbon. So that is the 50-yard kit. And so thrifties, if you want the kit, just say black kit. And I will have these available in my coffee shop coming up soon. But like I said, I want to make a big bang when I do this, so it won't be for a few more days yet, or a little bit longer, I'm not sure. But I'm working on a plan, so I'm hoping you guys will come along for the plan. I'm going to tie that back up. And that is the black kit. So I'm going to stick that aside for now, somewhere. And go on to the red kit. Okay, so we have some red silk cord. And this is a gold, it could be a Christmas cord. I would use it regardless, even though it's red, green, gold. I would use it for year-round. It's really nice when you do snippet rolls. Red pom-poms, because I had red ones. So now I'm going to have little red bits all over my table here. And this is another braided trim, but in red. Now it's kind of a reds and burgundies coloring here. So there is some burgundy picot ribbon. It's a very rich picot or burgundy coloring. And then a brighter red. And everybody's different in their preference to reds. Some people like fire truck red, and others like a more subtle red color. But this is a beautiful embossed ribbon. It has roses in it. Gorgeous satin ribbon. Very lovely. Would make great belly bands and trims on pockets. A flat lace in red and white. And again, these are all in yards. Silver cord, similar to the gray one, but in the red. And this is the only one, or the only other green and red, but I love it for year round. It doesn't have to be for Christmas. To me, it's both. And some red rickrack. And some really fine red rickrack. I love this stuff. It's so pretty. So pretty. Some seam binding in red. I didn't have any black, at least not enough to go around. I probably have one package of black. I call this 1 yard, but it's that much, and I don't know how much is on here, you know, lots. But it's just a finer thread that you can use to slow stitch with, or make some crocheted beads, or all kinds of fun things, you know, different kinds of trim. So, and it's good for tags too. Some baker's twine, and this has got a little bit of kind of a ivory brown, like a sand brown, and the red in it. Really nice. And this has 2 yards. Because what can you do with 1 yard? I mean. And then some lace with ribbon trim. There, this for sure. There's different ones in different boxes, or different kits. So if you don't get this one, there's another one that you'll get that will be equally as nice. And that is also a yard. Now this is only half a yard because I didn't have enough to go around to give a yard for everybody. There's a few little threads here. I think I took this off of something, I'm not sure. Or maybe it came like that, I don't know. But yeah, it's a really nice fringe trim. This also, I don't want to pull on it, but you can pull this apart and make long strands to use for tassels. I don't know if you can take, no, the whole tassel is part of this. This is a little extra, so if you got this one, you technically have more than half a yard, only because I didn't want to disturb that. But yeah, you can pull this to make a long strand of silk cord that you can use for a variety of things as well. So half a yard of that, and then I included some shabby roses, 4. They're a nice large size. They're about 3 inches, let's see, no, about 2.5 inches in diameter. But really nice to cluster with those. And they're soft, and they flatten. So they will be flat in your journals if you're using them inside the pages. Some gathered lace, and that could be this color or burgundy, or it could even be a double burgundy with white. It depended on, because I didn't have enough to do all in this, so you may get one or the other color. A wide cord, what this is nice for is to tie around a journal. Makes instant ties, and then you can dangle things from it. So there's that. Some fused beads in this burgundy, kind of a burgundy shade. Love that. Great for tassels. You can also put a connector on one end and a connector on this side, and make, you know, things that dangle from your journals, or, you know, any length. Of course, you can put 2 connectors and make it into a tassel. Lots of possibilities. Another one of my favorite ribbons. This is a cloth ribbon, and just, I love the pattern. I love the color of this. It's a very dark red shade. And then the little bits of gold are very interesting, so you could play on that a little bit. And then I included some shabby ribbons. So there's this one, and it's got the gold flecks in it as well. This is not quite as long a piece, but that was the fabric that I had. But still lots to do snippet rolls or snippets or pockets, decorating, that type of thing, belly bands. And I make up for it in the other colors because some of them are really long. So then there's this red, and it's got some leaves in there, but fun to work with. Frayed edges, you can actually cut this in two, make some really nice ruffles out of here, because it's about 2 inches to 2.5, depending on how it was cut. Another fun one is this paisley pattern. Now, of course, you get all the free raggy bits for free. They are included because when you're making a ton of kits, you don't want to be taking all this apart. And then a lovely gingham ribbon, again, free fibers with it. But they wind up really nicely and make fun little embellishments on your pages. So that's that. So I hope you like that. That's the first 25 yards. And then the second 25 yards is again made up of fibers. So I'm just going to move this over a little tiny bit here so I can show you the fibers. I have this one in the red. This is a brighter shimmery type red. It's got 2 fibers in here, I think, and just a lovely color. Very fuzzy. And then in the, I guess I missed this ribbon, or no, I showed you that ribbon, didn't I? And then in the sort of these plum colors here that's going on, I've got this very soft fiber. And like I said, all of these are perfect for making tassels and doing slow stitching and adding some texture. Then I have this one with the eyelash trim with the red and black. And then the boa trim in this it's kind of that in between. It's not, is it red? Is it got pink in it? I'm not really sure. You know how the color looks different depending on what you put it with. So there's 5 yards of that one. And then this one, very versatile ribbon or trim, 5 yards, and it's got a little bit of that velvety plushness to it, and then the extra little edge bit there. Matches very nicely with a lot of the things that are in here, so versatile that you can mix your reds. And when I work with reds myself personally, I do mix the reds so you're not caught up in matching something dead on for color. So I try to work with several shades of red so that it doesn't look off, or a page is not matching or something, but this way it's a combination of the colors. So you'll find that in the kits you can see the connection with all these colors. Maybe this blue is a little bit intense, but if you have other things in blue that you're adding into the kit or into your project, you can make this blend very well, or the teal or whatever. So yeah, I tend to work like this when I'm doing something so that I'm not caught up in, that doesn't match, because there is no matching. You're creating the color based on what you use. That is the color. So that's it for my 3 kits, or for my 3 different Destash items for today. So thrifties, if you want the red kit, please just say red trim kit and black trim kit and whatever books you want. And like I said, this will be available either, I'm hoping by the end of this week, but sometimes things pile up and I don't get it done. So do stay tuned for it in the near future, but I'm going to start with a big bang when it happens. If you want to get on the Thrifty Box, this is the last chance of this year to get on. So please contact me and leave me a message on the Thrifty video saying that you want to join now, and I will arrange with you payment and all that kind of stuff after. But yeah, it'll be the last one for this year. And that's about it for now, I think. Other than the fact that right after this video, I'm going to be working on doing the unboxing, reboxing of Anne's thrifty box so that you can see that. That'll be a separate video. It'll either follow today or be the very next day. Thank you so much for watching. I wish you all a very creative day and a creative week as always. And we will talk to you all soon. Bye for now.